Hello my loves and welcome back to my hair channel. So recently I did a video on 12 different ways on how to curl your hair and you guys loved that video so much. The response was absolutely amazing that I decided to do another video on easy ways on how to wave your hair. The techniques I'm going to show you are super easy to recreate on shorter, medium or longer hair types, and I'm going to show you how you can use tools or household items that you may already have at home to wave your hair. And just like in my previous video, I'm going to show you some methods that involve heat and some methods that are completely heatless. So without further ado, if you want to see my easy ways on how to wave your hair, please keep watching. So just like in my previous video, I'm going to be clipping in my fancy hair extensions to give my hair some extra length and volume, and this way I'll also have some more hair to work with. And in case you guys are wondering, I do wear the 240 gram set in the shade Hazelnut Dirty Blonde, and if you guys want more information on fancy hair extensions, I'll leave a link in the cards above me, and there's always a link in my description box. So with the magic of editing, I'm going to fast forward through this part and show you what my hair looks like after I clip in the hair extensions. So the first easy way to wave your hair method that I'm going to show you is how to wave your hair using paper towel. So I have a section of hair here that is about 1.5 inches in thickness, and I have some paper towel with me. So you want to get a long piece of paper towel and you kind of want to roll it up, and then you want to keep folding it until it's about 1 inch or 1.5 inches in thickness, about the same thickness as the section of hair that you have. So this is my paper towel right here. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about that because we're going to be wrapping this section of hair around it anyway. So I'm just going to lay this off to the side for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this heat protectant spray because it's water-based, and I'm using this instead of water just to dampen my hair a little bit. So I'm just going to comb through to make sure that the product is evenly distributed. And then I'm going to take my paper towel and then find the middle of it and then take the section, put it over the center, and then wrap it around the paper towel in an H shape. So as you can see, I'm kind of weaving it through these two sections of the paper towel. I'm going over and under and over and under and over until I have no more hair to work with. So when that happens, I'm just going to gather the ends together, and I probably took way too much paper towel. And then I'm going to take an elastic and just tie the ends together so that it doesn't unravel. Probably easier if I took this off. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm just going to let this sit until it dries completely, and then I'm going to unravel it and show you what it looks like when it's dry. So as you can see, the paper towel wave creates this beautiful defined irregular type wave. It's really, really beautiful and is very, very natural. So for the next method for waving your hair, I'm taking a larger section of hair, and again, I'm going to just dampen it with some heat protectant. Brush through to make sure it's evenly distributed, and then I'm going to separate this section of hair into 3 strands. And with these 3 strands, I'm simply going to create a 3-strand braid. And I like these to be a little bit looser, so I'm making sure not to braid it too tight. I'm going to braid down all the way to the ends and then tie off the ends with a small hair elastic. Now for this method, you have 2 options. You can either leave your hair as it is and allow it to air dry and then reveal it once it's completely dry, or you can take a flat iron and just run over the braid a few times to make sure that the braid has set and to allow it to dry much quicker. So I'm going to wait until the braid has completely cooled down and set, and then I'm going to reveal it to show you what it looks like. As you can see, the 3-strand braid is a lot tighter. Even though I use a thicker section, it's more of a crimped type wave, which is also very interesting, and it gives your hair a lot of texture and volume. The next hairstyle I'm going to show you can also be done heatlessly. So again, I'm going to coat my hair with some heat protectant, brush through to make sure it's distributed. Then take this section of hair, split it into 2, twist both strands in one direction and wrap them around each other in the opposite direction. And you're just going to keep repeating these steps until you get all the way to the ends. And essentially you're creating a rope braid. and I'm just tying off the ends of the braid with a small hair elastic. And just like with the heatless braid that I showed you, you can leave the rope braid as it is and wait until the braid is 100% dry to release the wave, or you can take a flat iron and then run it over the braid a few times to heat it up and allow it to dry much quicker, and then release it once it's cool. So I'm just gonna leave my braid and allow it to cool down completely, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like once it's cooled down. So the rope braid is kind of similar to the 3-strand braid in the sense that it is also a tighter type wave, but this one is a much softer crimp. The next waving method I'm going to show you is amazing for those of you who don't have a lot of hairstyling tools, and the only hairstyling tool that you may have is a flat iron. So what you want to do is take a smaller section of hair that is about 1 inch in thickness, like the section that I have here, and then you want to take your flat iron, and my personal favorite flat iron that I've been using for years is the CROC infrared flat iron. I swear by this flat iron. It's the only flat iron that I use, and it's so amazing. So what I'm doing is just clamping the hair at the top, and then I'm going to twist my flat iron upwards, then roll it down a little bit, twist it in the opposite direction, move it down a little bit, then again, twist it up, move it down, twist it down, and move it down. And what this is going to do is create a beautiful wave in your hair, as you can see here. And it's a very natural type wave. And when you create this wave all over your head in different directions, it looks very boho and very cool. For the next waving method, I'm going to show you using the hair at the top and kind of in the back of my head, because it's easier to create this type of heatless hairstyle using this hair on top. So I'm taking a fairly large section, because if I take something that's smaller, it's going to turn out very tight, and I want a more boho loose wave. So again, I'm just going to dampen it with some heat protectant. And if you don't want to use heat protectant, you can definitely use water. I just find that water leaves my hair a little bit frizzy after I remove it from the heatless hairstyles, but if your hair is more on the smooth side, then you should have no issues with that whatsoever. So all I'm doing is taking this section of hair and I'm twisting it very tightly, and then I'm wrapping it around itself at the base. And essentially what I'm creating is a Bantu knot, and I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the very ends. And when you get to the ends, you can either tie down the base and the ends with an elastic, or you can take a couple of bobby pins and secure them that way. So this is what the Bantu knot should look like, and you want to leave it in again until it is completely dry. And as you can see, this creates a beautiful loose wave, especially when you use a chunky section of hair. So this next method is probably the easiest because it involves absolutely no tools whatsoever, just the tools that you already have on your hands, and I'm talking about your fingers. So in my original easy ways to curl your hair video, I showed you how you can curl your hair using 2 fingers. So essentially what I do is I look at my fingers as different barrels. So if I use 2 fingers, I can create a nice soft curl, and if I use 3 fingers, I can create a softer, looser wave. So what I'm gonna do is take a section of hair that is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in thickness, because again, I want it to be a little bit looser. And I'm going to dampen the hair, take my 3 fingers, and then wrap the hair around my 3 fingers like so. And then once I've done that, I'm going to secure both sides of this twist with a crocodile clip just to ensure that it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm just going to allow this to dry completely, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when I release it. So this wave is one of my favorites because it's such a beautiful loose type wave. It's very natural, very relaxed. And if you create this wave all over your hair, it just creates such a beautiful effect. In my original Easy Ways to Curl Your Hair video, I introduced you to FLEXI rods. I have mentioned that I've used these in previous videos. So I showed you how you can curl your hair using these guys. And now I'm gonna show you how you can wave your hair. So all I do is take a flexi rod. Actually, I take 2 flexi rods and I bend the top part down like so. And then I take a section of hair that is about 2 inches in thickness, dampen it, and then I take these 2 flexi rods and I wrap the section of hair around the flexi rods like so. And again, I'm looking at these flexi rods as if they are curling barrels. So if 1 flexi rod is going to give me a curl, then 2 flexi rods is going to give me a wave. And once I wrap the hair all the way around, I'm just folding over the bottom ends just to secure the hair in place. So my flexi rod waves were still a little bit wet when I took them down, but as you can see, this created a more spiralized wave. I really, really like it. It's very, very different and it kind of has a messy texture to it. So the next method is a little bit unconventional, but when I put it to the test, it worked wonders. And the method I'm talking about is using socks. Yes, this is a sock, ladies and gentlemen. It is a clean sock. Don't worry, I'm not putting any dirty socks in my hair. So what you want to do is take a section of hair about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in thickness. Make sure that it is slightly damp, and then you want to start at the ends, find the middle of the sock, and then start wrapping the ends around the middle of the sock and roll it upwards. And you just want to keep rolling until you get all the way to the roots. And once I get to the roots, I'm just taking the ends of the sock and just tying them together like that. And again, I'm just going to allow this to air dry completely before I take it out. So this is the sock wave after I released it. This one is more of a tousled wave, and as you can see, the ends are a little bit tighter than the top. Also a really, really beautiful wave. The next method I'm going to show you is kind of similar to the sock in the way that you roll the hair around the object I'm going to show you. And the object I'm talking about is a magazine paper. This is the cover of a typical magazine, and as usual, the Jenners are on the cover. So all I'm doing is taking this magazine and I'm folding it in half and then folding it in half again. And then I'm going to fold it one more time until it is about 1 inch in thickness. And I'm going to take my section of hair and dampen it and then wrap the ends of the section around the middle of the magazine paper and start rolling it upwards. And when you get to the top, all you want to do is just fold the ends in, and it's kind of hard to tie these ends together. So what I like to do is just take an elastic and secure the ends together. I'm going to leave this in until it's 100% dry and then let it out to show you what it looks like. So this is the magazine wave, and as you can see, this one is a very interesting wave because it has a wavy shape to it, but it's also crimped at the same time. And when you mess it up with your fingers, it creates a very interesting irregular type wave. Another waving method that is similar to the sock method is to use these microfiber cloths. These are super inexpensive. You can get a pack of about 50 or so for super, super cheap off of Amazon. I have a bunch of these. All I do is I fold it into a triangle type shape and then I just roll it. So when you roll it, it's going to look something like this. And again, you want to take a section of hair, damp, wrap the ends of the hair around the middle, and then start rolling it upwards. And once you get to the top, just take the ends and then tie them together to make sure that it's secure. So once it's air dried, I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. So this is the microfiber wave. As you can see, this one is kind of similar to the sock wave, but it is looser just because the thickness of the microfiber cloth is much thicker than the sock wave. So you're going to get a more looser type of wave. This one is also one of my favorites because it's just so light, it's so bouncy, and this all over your hair is just absolutely stunning. In my original Easy Ways to Curl Your Hair video, I showed you how you can use tinfoil to curl your hair. So what I did was I took a piece of tinfoil and I rolled it up until it was the same shape as a flexi rod. So for this, I'm going to roll it up and create more of a thicker flexi rod, but also that has an oval type shape, so that instead of creating a big curl, I'm going to create a wavy texture. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this up, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't do this while speaking because the last time it got really noisy and I didn't want to make anyone's ears bleed. So I'm going to get to that. So now that I folded the piece of tin foil, I have something that looks like this, and I'm just going to take a section of hair that is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in thickness, dampen it, and I'm going to fold over the top of the tinfoil like so to create a little hook. And then I'm going to place the hook over the hair and start wrapping the hair around the tinfoil like this. And once I get to the ends, I'm going to take the bottom of the tinfoil and fold it upwards. And I'm just going to fold it over like this, just so that it stays secure. And to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere, I'm just going to take a crocodile clip and clip it down like this. How cool is this tinfoil wave? It has some very angular crimps throughout it and is very different. The next wave I'm going to show you is using a large curling barrel. Now this is the largest curling barrel that I own. I believe it's 1.75 inches and it is by T3. This is an amazing curling wand. So all I'm going to do is take a section of hair that is about 1 inch in thickness, and I'm going to wrap it around the barrel like this. And I'm going to make sure that the strand that I'm wrapping around the barrel remains flat against the barrel. I'm just going to hold it for about 10 seconds or so. And unlike in my easy ways to curl your hair video, I'm not going to drop it in the palm of my hand because that's going to make it a more defined curl. I'm just going to let it go, and I'm going to gently stretch out the tip like this. And I'm just going to hold it there for a few seconds and then drop it. And that's going to create a looser type wave. I also like to comb my fingers through it. And once you do that, you're going to have a beautiful wave that looks like this. If you don't have a super large curling barrel, you can get something like this, which is a 32mm curling barrel. This particular one is by NUME and it's a tourmaline. I'm really sorry. There's a motorcycle outside my window and it's making a lot of noise. Please hold. As I was saying, this is a 32mm tourmaline curling barrel. Absolutely amazing. I do believe it is about a 1.5 inch, between 1 and 1.5 inch. So it's pretty much the standard size. It's a little bit on the larger side. So if you have something like this, what you can do is just take a larger section of hair. And if you take a larger section of hair around a smaller barrel, you can get a very similar waving effect. So I'm just going to take this section of hair, wrap it around the barrel like this, and again I'm doing a flat type curl, and I'm going to hold it on the barrel for about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to release, and I'm going to pull down on the ends. And once I've done that, I'm just going to comb through with my fingers. And as you can see, it's a very similar effect to using a larger barrel, and I created the same type of curl just using a bigger section of hair around a smaller barrel. Another way you can wave your hair is to take a section of hair and then twist it. And you don't want to twist it too tightly. Just twist it a few times and then take it around a barrel and wrap it very tightly around the barrel. And again, I'm going to just hold it there for about 10 seconds or so. And then when I release, I'm just going to pull down on the end. Just going to keep it there for a few seconds until it cools down a little bit and then release. And then what I like to do is just comb through it. And as you can see, this creates a very loose tousle type wave. Another one of my favorite ways to wave my hair is to take the top of my hair, wrap it around the barrel one way, hold it for about 5 seconds or so, take the bottom half of the strand and wrap it around the barrel the opposite way, and again hold for about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to release and pull on the ends for a couple seconds and then let go. This is more of a natural organic type wave, and this is also one of my favorite ways to wave my hair. Okay, my love, so I went ahead and finished off the rest of my hair by adding in a few waves into it, and this is what my hair looks like with all of the different waves in my hair. Now, this is a little bit cray-cray for me. I would pick maybe one or two of the methods and mix them in, but I did this for the purpose of the video, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. By the way, guys, if you were interested in the makeup look that I have today, this will be up on my beauty channel very, very soon. In case you guys didn't know, I recently launched a beauty channel, so what I'm gonna do is pop a video in right about here. When you click on it, it's going to take you to my beauty channel. If you guys enjoy the content that I'm putting out on my beauty channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel to make sure that you don't miss out on any future videos, including this tutorial on this makeup look right here. And if you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe to my hair channel to make sure that you are notified anytime I have a new video. You can also follow the Fancy Hair Instagram account for daily hair inspiration and follow my personal account to stay connected with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I hope to see you in my next video.